Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to day 6 of my stay in Ottawa. I hope everybody enjoyed the La Machine video that I put up last night and the Rideau Hall one I put up this morning. I am actually out of Ottawa today. I am driving over to Kingston to meet up with a friend, and we are going to go on the Kingston Penitentiary tour tonight. Hope to see you there. Bye.
What's his name again?
Bambi.
Bambi. I've heard it, Bambi.
Put this in your other hand.
Hi, Bambi. Here you go.
Alright, put Papa. My mom has a food dehydrator. So my mom has a food dehydrator.
Oh, that's a good idea.
So buy the papaya and dry it out. A lot of old limestone houses and everything.
That's beautiful. And here we have the Wilton Cheese Factory, which I've never been to before. Architecture and history.
Yeah.
My kid brother is actually an architect.
Ah.
So yes, I'm very much interested in architecture, especially historical architecture.
There's a lot of it here.
Could you imagine going to school well, you don't have to imagine.
No.
You've been to school here in Queens.
I got frostbite right in an exam in Grand Hall.
This is Ontario Hall of Queen's University, and it is the building used for the Fine Arts program. So here we have the last glass lamp in Kingston.
And it still actually functions.
It still functions. Cool.
At night you'll see it going.
That's neat. I think
Yeah, so he was gotten like $6 grand and that. Yeah.
one of the streets in Kingston. Sorry?
King Street.
King Street in Kingston. There you go. Kingston City Hall. Some of the old defense towers, and in the distance past the boats is some of Fort Henry.
I can't listening on my
And here we are coming up to the outside of Kingston Penitentiary in Kingston, Ontario. It closed many years ago now and has just recently, within the last couple of years, been opened for tours. Our tour is at 7:15. I'm not sure if we can take video inside, but hopefully I can at least take pictures.
Remember these pencil sharpeners?
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. Especially the clown.
It's crazy.
Suspicious. So they wouldn't listen to any conversation, but maybe a kiss lingered a little too long, a hug was a little too tight. That's when they would chime in to make sure that no contraband is being snuck into the institution. If you were deemed high risk for sneaking contraband into the institution, you would not be granted open visitation. you would be granted closed visitation. It's behind this wall right over here. We're going to pass it very shortly. There's a picture on the wall right over here of how it looks. Something you'd expect out of a movie scene, two people talking on a telephone separated by plexiglass. You have the prison tissue paper over there, which is actually toilet paper because it's cheaper. Over here, little kids section. Kids and inmates who were coming on visits would hang out here. All of the murals you see on the wall are authentic. This was all done by inmates. You're going to be seeing a lot of murals throughout the institution. Those are all authentic and original. That clown pops up a few more times. I think it looks ridiculously scary, but it's all over the place. So just a little heads up, if you turn the corner, oh, there's a clown. So that is our answer too. All right, any questions at all about these? The walls were 12 feet high and they were cedar wood fencing. However, in 1845, they opted to go for something a little bit more intimidating. And that's when they built the North Gate right over here, also known as the North Lodge. In addition to the Kingston Penitentiary, constructed in 2002, these are the state-of-the-art segregation units. We're going to be going inside there as well. Over to our right, we're not going to be going inside this building, but it's always nice to point out, this is the old prison for women, constructed in 1909 and populated until 1935, at which point all the women were transferred to a different institution because they were thought to be a hindrance towards the rehabilitation of the men. The building was then repurposed to become an administration office. So, your favorite color? Your favorite?
Our favorite.
Our? Oh. All right, guys, so come all the way in, out from underneath the lip over here. All right, guys, so all the way inside here, out from underneath the lip. You really want to see the full view over here. Come all the way in, guys. Make a semicircle around Mike. He's a former guard. He's going to be talking to us a little bit about the dome.
Well, blue is my favorite color, so nice to see you all because you're the last tour of the day. My name is Mike. I was a prison guard for 35 years. There was 8 prisons in the Kingston area. I worked at 6 of them, including Kingston Penn. I'm sure your first couple of stops were interesting. They did spend a bit of time at BNC. They were not allowed when the bell rang. That was out of bounds. I can now tell you folks, you're now in the belly of the beast. Whatever you expect a prison to look like, your next couple of stops, this is it. I'm going to tell you a little bit about this place, what went on here, some of the terminology that was used. This is the heart, the soul, the guts of Kingston Penn. This is where they spent the majority of their time. This was the dome of Kingston Penn, Grand Central Stations. The cons going anywhere had to come through here. There was no loitering. You're on your way to somewhere. And all the big names you're thinking about have walked the floor that you're on. Picture a wagon wheel. This is the hub of the wheel. The wheel, spokes of the wheel are the cell blocks. And only when you're in here can you tell that there are 4 floors of cells at Kingston Penn. You're going to go down a cell block here in a minute. You're going to see 2 floors wrong. Double launch will come at one point in time. All the clothing, the linen, the TVs, the games, etc. They all belong to us at one point in time. Some of the cells are open to get the kids to start with that store. Keep the light out and privacy from each other. They simply ripped everything down. 2 things you do not do in prison. You do not whistle. You do not call a common group. Calling a common group is the worst insult that there is in our system. It has and count these guys several times a day. Keep the count up and stand up. I'll be over here with the guy on the wall.
Cool thing to see. Crap. So get your pictures in here, guys, and then we're going to be moving on towards segregation. All right, guys, so before we go down into segregation over here, I just wanted to talk a little bit about the difference in segregation. So there is also a misconception that the worst of the worst people are in long-term segregation. That isn't always the case. You're in long-term segregation for your own protection. So, for example, I might be serving a 2-year sentence for a B&E. I broke and entered into somebody's house, but the house that I broke into is the leader of the Hells Angels, and his entire gang is here at KP, so for that reason, I can't mingle in the general population. For that reason, I would have to go into long-term segregation for my own protection. So again, long-term seg is protected custody. It's not necessarily about the crime. It's always about what type of security and safety you need. So this is Cindy here. She's going to be talking to us a little bit about life in segregation.
Hi folks, my name is Cindy, 35 years service, 29 with the Correctional Services Canada, and 12 and a half years here at KP. Where you are currently, this is our short-term segregation unit. This area here is fairly new in comparison to the rest of the institution. It was built in 2002. What you're going to see back here, this is going to be the new standard for the Correctional Services Canada. Any new federal prisons being built, they're going to look like this one from what you see back here. What's going to bring an inmate into short-term seg? So let's take Lower G as an example. An officer goes into a cell. He finds a weapon in that cell. Maybe the inmate has assaulted another inmate. Maybe he's assaulted the officer when he was doing his wind. We're going to bring him down here. He's going to be strip searched, cavity searched, redressed, put back here in the dis cells. We're going to have an institutional court. It's going to take place in this area here. We're going to bring in the independent chairperson, as well as the Queen's Correctional Law might also be in attendance as a representative for those fellows who don't already have lawyers. So they're going to take a look at the offense report. So the offense report, the officer's gone in, he's done his 30-day cell search, and he has found additional items in that cell that were not listed on the personal property sheet of that particular inmate. That is contraband. So what they're going to give him is 5 nights OP. So he's going to do that time up on his range. OP is off privileges. The only person who's going to have contact with would be with his range rep. Every range in the institution had its own representative. In addition, we also had 3 inmates that were elected by the general population, and that was our inmate committee. These guys will be the ones to run interference with management to try and resolve any issues before things get out of hand, as we do not want a repeat of the 1971 riot. What happens to this fellow who's assaulted another inmate back here? So they're going to give him 30 days. So he's going to get 30 days in the dis cells. So first of all, he's going to have to be reviewed by the warden within the first 24 hours. Just like long-term seg, he's going to be reviewed again at that seg review board at 5-day mark, and then he's going to be reviewed again at the 30-day mark, just like long-term seg. With long-term segregation, these guys that basically are doing their entire sentence in long-term segregation. Not by the nature of the crimes that they've committed, but just the notoriety that those crimes have generated. They do not feel safe in our own population. So, but they still must be reviewed every 30 days. Oh,
Think about what dry cell means. See, that's like everyone's 1833, the first bricks were laid. In 1895, they doubled the cell sizes, and in 1992, they added the A1 fortification, which is the armory in the middle of the main dome.
Here is for a total of 11. And just in case you thought all the retired staff were
It really is quite powerful. It's kind of the lost part of this excavation, so they really just don't need this. Alright guys, welcome to the recreation yard here at KP. When this place was operational, they'd have a baseball diamond with home plate where that fire hydrant is, extending all the way out over here. The Kingston Ped had an official baseball team. They were called the Kingston Penitentiary Saints. They were based teams from the outside. Notably, the NHL All-Star team came here for 5 years in a row. And they played the KP Saints in a couple of softball games. Over here you have a weight pit, so you have barbells. Alright guys, welcome to the RTC, which is the Regional Treatment Center. The RTC is a separate entity from the Kingston Penitentiary. It's a psychiatric hospital. So because of that, because they think of the RTC as a maximum security institution within a maximum security institution. They have their own facilities, like this gymnasium over here. This is not the Kingston Penn Gymnasium. The Kingston Penn has a gym, which is much bigger than this.
Yeah, that's what I saw. I don't know if it's going to show up. Oh, I saw, yeah, I'm seeing some of them. My first fireflies. Come on. Show up.